Today I'm going to show you how I calibrate my pH meter. I'm also going to show you how I clean and store it. So bear in mind, I'm showing you how I clean, calibrate and store my pH meters. If you work in a scientific laboratory, which I don't, stop watching now because this is not the video for you. If you are making hot sauces, if you're fermenting foods and you want to get an indication of where your pH is, then this is the video for you. So just keep that in mind when you're watching this. I'll leave a link down below for everything I use in the video. But the first thing you're going to need is some de-ionized water. This is helpful not only for calibrating, but also for cleaning your pH meter. Firstly, let's talk about cleaning. I have a few different pH meters, but we're just going to be working with one of these cheaper ones. These work perfectly fine. As long as you take care of them, you got no problems. When you've made a hot sauce and you go and stick this inside there to give it a test, this thing can get really dirty. So the first thing you're going to do is take some normal tap water, give it a good rinse. Try not to get water up here. You just want to keep it just below over there. Give it a good rinse, get off as much of the muck as you can. Give it a bit of a shake to get any excess water off. Take some de-ionized water and give it another rinse. This just makes sure you're not leaving any deposits on the sensor itself, because tap water can have quite a bit of funky stuff in there. Once you've done that, give it a shake off. You can use one of these to wipe it down, dry it off, but I just give it a bit of a shake because I want to keep this somewhat moist, because when you store these, you want to store it a little bit wet. You don't want these to dry out completely because the sensor does not like that. So that's cleaning and storing your pH meter. Pretty easy. Let's talk about calibrating your pH meter. Firstly, make sure it is clean. Make sure that you've given it another rinse with your de-ionized water. Try and get off as much of the excess water as you can. Then take a piece of lint-free paper and give it a bit of a dry inside on the sensor. So if you bought one of these cheaper sensors, then you would have got these calibration packets inside. Now, the only ones we're really interested in is the pH 4 and the pH 6.86. The reason for that, we don't need to test on the alkaline side of things because we're interested mainly on the acidic side of things. So you only need to measure with these two. So we're going to put that in there. We take our de-ionized water and we're going to put in 250 milliliters. One of the reasons I don't like using these powders is because it just takes so long to mix up, and you can even see now there's still some stuff in the bottom there that's not completely mixed, but for our purposes this will be fine. These solutions, once I've used them, I actually don't buy them again. I go straight to the liquid version, which I'll show you in a second, is much easier. So to calibrate it to 6.86, we're going to push it on, hold down the calibrate button for a couple seconds, let it go. You'll see that start flashing 6.86. Put that in, and once it stops flashing, it should be calibrated. Then you want to rinse it off one more time. Just make sure you clean off any of the buffer solution, distilled water or de-ionized water. Give it a good wipe. And because I'm not a fan of using the powders, I bought these buffer solutions, which are liquid buffer solutions. And what's nice with these is you can just open them up and use them straight inside there. Just with these ones especially, make sure that these are clean. You don't want to introduce anything in here to dilute this. So what I'm going to do here is hold down the calibrate button again for a couple seconds, let it go, and it'll start flashing. Press it one more time and you'll see it flashing on 4. Put that inside the solution. And once it stops flashing, it would have been calibrated. And that's it really. You're now ready to go. Give it another rinse before you do use it inside your sauce or your food. Give it another rinse, just make sure that it's not contaminating anything, and you can use this now in your sauce. Bear in mind that for my purposes and for your purposes as well, if you're following my channel, what we're doing here is perfectly good enough for our testing. So we're testing hot sauces. We need to make sure that we're getting well below 4.6 on the pH scale. If you're on the margin, if you're sitting there at 4.6 or 4.55 even, I would probably think twice about it. But majority of the fermentations that I do, you'll easily come below 4.0 even. So if you test these and these are coming at 4.1, 4.0 or 3.9, somewhere around there, you're perfectly fine. Hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye for now.
Old man, they're coming